They like to attack. They like to attack my head in the middle of the night, which is really fun. So what ends up happening is that like 3 in the morning, I will end up eventually just grabbing one of them. And like I'm usually not that aggressive with them, but I'll just pull them in and hold them real tight and be like, "Is this what you want to do?" And then they kind of sit there for a second, and they're like,
No.
"All right, I'll go find something else to do," and then and then they run off.
Yeah, the best cats you could just treat like dogs, just wrestle with them
That's
and all that.
that's the plan with these boys.
Yeah.
They don't have the claw control yet, but eventually I will be able to hold wrestling events. I've actually on my bed, I will take my pillows and I will put them in like a basically create the ring. And then I take their toys, like their bird toys and stuff, and
Just
I'll like
put 'em in.
yeah.
Now that's cool.
Winner take all in the squared circle. All
Ready
right.
to do an intro?
Yeah. So, it's been 6 months since we've had some chaotic pussy. And we have new guests. We got Harry and we got Lloyd. We got Cameron now. And here we are. It's been a while. You with you, Mr. Steven?
Well, first and foremost, I was gonna ask you because
All right.
so the intro.
I got it. What's up?
How long did it take you to cook that up?
About 1 second.
you were like, I got an intro, and it was just like
No, that was why I was
It
asking.
lasted about 10 seconds, and I thought you had a whole bit prepared.
No. Well, because you said you had things about us taking 6 months and whatever.
Oh, well, see, my bit was partly like completely ignoring the fact that we haven't recorded a podcast in 6 months. So I was going to ask you what your Super Bowl predictions were.
Yeah, I had my. That was a well, fucking. I had a whole thing later about sports predictions that already happened.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Oh well, now I'll make those up to date.
We also have a third guest who you might have heard their laughter just now. Mr. Andres has joined us. Mr. Andres, what are your predictions for WrestleMania 40? Will Cody finish the story, or will the Bloodline continue their dominance of the
Cody's
Federation?
story. Cody's story doesn't deserve to be finished, and to be fair, neither does Roman. Rock needs to take over as champion.
Oh,
He needs to go into the event, whoop Roman's ass, whoop Cody's ass, whoop Cody's mom's ass, and then just take the belt and F off like Brock Lesnar.
Do you think we'll have any run-ins during the main event?
Every single person from the Bloodline and the NWO is coming in because of reasons.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's the worst book WrestleMania ever. And I cannot wait to see it.
But yeah, it's been like, when was the last one we recorded? Did you look?
This early December.
That was the last one we recorded, but that's the one we didn't put out.
So the one that you'll be hearing that will be coming up for us tomorrow, episode 9, was recorded in December.
Okay. And I've always said like we have like 10 episodes to kind of figure this out. That was kind of my marker. I mean, maybe we pushed that to 20.
It's gonna take 40 actually to get this shit right.
You know what's fun and like I didn't do any prep for this podcast. There's like a few podcasts I've been listening to that. Do you know Dudesy with Will Sasso?
If you ask me about Dudesy again, I will slap you.
So Dudesy fucking rules, but Will Sasso has this thing that he's developed throughout his life called Tronics, which basically is like ways of him. It's like systems he's created in his brain in order to function. And he has one now that he's created called Podtronics.
That sounds like a Joe Rogan, like alpha male mentality.
I
was gonna say.
It's more of a neurodivergent thing. It's more of like I have to.
So Joe Rogan.
Sure. Joe.
6 degrees of Joe Rogan. Kevin Bacon can go take a hike.
He renamed what thinking is. What is his way of thinking?
He had these really good couple of bits about podcasts, and most of it was just like bits. Because like on that podcast he interrupts his co-host a lot, and so he was talking about like, never interrupt your co-host. Like he was basically like making fun of himself.
Right.
But he had some stuff on there where he was talking about like because he is an actor by trade. I'm just gonna steal all of his bits. He is a professional actor. He is a professional actor by trade.
Quentin Tarantino out here.
He is a professional actor by trade, and so he does a lot of impressions. But what he mostly does is keep it mostly positive, and he also tries. He was basically like saying like any art form, you just have to keep doing it, even if it sucks. and that's how you get better at it. You know, it's like
Like-
old. It's like old advice.
And eventually, we'll be if we just do this 10,000 times,
Yeah.
we will be masters at
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Episode 10,000, we will figure it out. Well, it was funny because, like, you know, I mean, should we? Partly why we went on a hiatus, I will say, at least for me, is like I get real sad in the wintertime.
Yeah, yeah, that was one thing. It was just he got real sad in the winter, which is when I thrive, which sucks for me.
Because we didn't quite sync.
No,
up.
because I hate the sun.
Oh, okay.
I hate that I was born in NorCal only for that reason. Just it gets fucking hot, and again in 5th grade. Cade, and my brother, and I were doing basketball in 110 degrees outside like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sucks.
And now you're just that's too hot for you, or in 5th grade it sucked as well.
Oh, it sucked then.
Oh, okay.
We could go inside and go to a grandparent's AC and just like lay face down on the AC unit.
Salvation of Vegas coming in clutch for California too.
Mhm.
Look at it.
But is it just like there's no sunshine, or
That's a big part of it, definitely. It's real. I mean, even normies will say it's depressing getting off work and it's dark outside. So like when the sun sets at like 4:30, it's real miserable, especially if you're working like a 9 to 5. You don't have any time in the sun
Mhm.
during the week for like vitamin D synthesis and whatnot. But yeah, that's a big part of it. I mean, it's just the season can get to people. I'm not like super bummed out by Christmas. I had mostly good Christmases as a child.
yeah.
You know, got that cool red Jeep with the battery, you know, the little mini cars that they give kids.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that was like Christmas 95. And my,
Can you pop the hood on that?
absolutely. My
Oh.
brother and Scott and I just mobbing around that in our neighborhood. But you know, it is like there's other factors too that I've looked back on, like, you know, a year is passing. So separate from the family stuff, you're like doing a lot of evaluation of like where you've been in the last year. And then my birthday is in February. So it's like I just get hit back to back to back with all these like reminders, depending on my mindset, right? Which is already naturally going to be a little, you know, more downtrodden of like what you have or haven't accomplished, what your hopes for your life were at this point. And over the years, I've gotten better about not getting super down in the dumps about that stuff and remaining positive. But there was something that happened in October this year.
What was that?
There was something that happened at the beginning of October that really made me just kind of like really want to disconnect from the world for a while. I can't remember what it was.
It was the start of Chaotic Pussy.
Yeah, it was
what
chaotic
was.
pussy coming back.
No, being a thing.
But no, obviously the ongoing genocide in Palestine really fucking bummed me out, and I
Oh
couldn't.
no, it bumps Kate out every day.
Yeah, and it's like
Aw.
it's really hard if you are someone who. It's hard for. I mean, I do put my head in the sand frequently with a lot of things in order to stay sane. But this is something that has been very difficult for me to continue to rationalize going to work every day. But I've managed to do it and still stay employed. So you know, we got that going for us.
Like, that was another underrated part of the seasonal depression. Like now, like a normal person, you just take one day off
Yeah.
because you know we all need that reset. I think it's healthy.
Yeah.
But there was a point where it was 3 days a week. You're out of there.
Yeah.
Mostly in winter, huh?
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that I have a personality and am able to convince people that I am actually a good worker, even though it's far from it.
Well, the thing that really helps is we look at our competition
Yes,
at our
yes.
place of employment.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna
It,
say,
it helps that nobody wants to work in a school, so
Yeah.
that if I just do like the bare minimum and I'm able to like say hi to people and make eye contact, I'm an all-star. So
Yeah, if you can remember what's for lunch today, you're ahead of the game.
yeah.
But yeah.
Do a little bit of folding, you're good.
What else has been going? I mean, I've just been a sad boy. I've started to try and get back in the gym a little bit.
Wait.
Taking that extra day off a week really helps. Only working 4 days a week because I feel
Yeah.
like I can do laundry.
Right. I was gonna say you're the only person I know who like started a podcast and then got depressed. And you're like, you know, I'm done being depressed. You know what I should do? I should think about my life goals and get back into podcasting.
if there's one thing I haven't learned from my 35 years around the sun, it is definitely just keep throwing yourself at it. Eventually, it'll work out.
Mhm.
These aren't self-destructing habits at all.
No.
Well, what did you do all winter
All winter?
besides watch sports like a fucking normie?
Yeah, I'm pretty normal.
Is that-
So my birthday
Weirdest
also
parade.
is in the winter. It was January.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what did I do for that? Probably some normie shit like go to Scandia with my girlfriend or something.
Hell yeah.
Or,
Oh, yeah,
or go
totally.
bowling. That was when you have a winter birthday. A lot of bowling birthdays as a kid.
Yeah, when I was, because I grew up in North Idaho, right? And
Mhm.
so there's always snow on the ground for
Right.
my birthday. So yeah, it was a lot of bowling, indoor stuff. As I got older, I was lucky. We did a couple LAN parties at my house, which was sick.
Hmm.
For you kids out there, that's when you bring all your big desktop PCs together and plug them together with the cable that gives you the internet.
I used to do that before I got a laptop.
Yeah. It's a good time.
I had to lug around my
Um,
computer.
You know, now that we just sit at home on our couches and watch the battle pass go up.
Yeah, me and Andres were talking about it. Just the soundtrack in games is getting worse because there's less like couch co-op or like there's less like story mode in games or like single player experience does not matter much. It's being on Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever, and being with your blads gaming.
Yeah.
So who gives a fuck about music? It's just all about how can we queue up the next thingy.
Yeah, it's
The
tough.
dopamine fix has to come in immediately. And
Yeah.
the thing is, with the advent of Spotify being so like everywhere, you could just queue up your own soundtrack. So you don't really need a banger soundtrack like you did in the days of Burnout 3, Need for Speed Most Wanted, all those games.
And
the Street
any-
series from Big, anything Big really.
Yeah, I was gonna say EA Sports Big was a fucking huge deal when I was 4 to 7 years old.
SSX 3,
Yeah.
that was a jam.
Those were all coming out when I was in high school. But yeah, I think the thing I most miss is just, and part of it is just getting older, right? And working full time. It's difficult to get together with the lads and play video games on a couch. But we were talking about this the other day, like the fact that like even when you can get guys together to play games on Discord, as soon as the game is done, everyone disconnects.
Yeah.
And it's like
There's no dinner.
that playing the video game at your buddy's house wasn't the actual thing that you enjoyed.
No.
It was being around, it was all the inside jokes, it was
Mhm.
being in community with each other. I can play, I mean, you could still goof and gaff while you're playing the video game, right? But it's much more about just like sitting there and just talking, you know?
Or just like my experience in middle school was, we'd play the video game for like 30 minutes, like Brawl or whatever,
Hmm.
have pizza, and then we're doing a Nerf battle where it ends up one kid's putting his head through the fucking wall. That was awesome. Shout out to Zach.
Yeah.
Because me and Dane were just holding the door back,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, all right, I'm gonna charge on 3. And he goes 1, 2, 3. And me and Damon just back away from the door. He breaks the door down and falls into the wall. Just head first breaking this wall. It's crazy.
I'm looking around for my phone. I had some notes on there. Do you see my phone over there?
Is that a pink one with a thing in the back?
Nar. I see a speaker.
Like this one.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, there it is.
I have the perfect angle.
Yeah, thank God we got a third person now
I
for
don't know.
stuff in that moment. Another way to get Steven onto his phone.
Yeah. The one thing that's needed every single time.
Mhm.
Oh, soothsayer, what do thine scrolls say?
He's not looking at scrolls. He's looking at pussy and biobots.
Actually,
Lovely.
so for a podcast title, I was thinking, or just like subject, it was a little. I love alliteration.
Mhm.
You know that about me. I'm a big alliteration guy.
Yeah, we want to wrestle on Wednesday.
They're always saying, "There goes Steve, loves his alliteration."
There goes
Yeah.
sexy, stupid Steve.
Playoffs, politics, and pussy.
Oh yeah, yeah. We want to talk about playoffs.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
You said you had something about sports or something.
I have a little sports corner. If you guys, if you guys are dead, but,
I'm willing to learn.
all right,
Yeah, we're here for it.
All
Yeah,
right.
We're here
Professor
to support
Cameron.
you.
All right.
We're here-
Sports Corner.
Oh,
One thing about Chaotic Pussy, we support everybody's special interest, no matter how unique and.
All right. I got in 1 minute. I'm gonna just cover the sports world in 1 minute.
All right.
Number 1, we're going NFL draft. Caleb Williams number 1 looks good for the Bears. If you're a Chargers fan, be happy that we're getting rid of all of our wide receivers and we're focused on the run game. Joe Alt's gonna be a Hall of Fame lineman. Thing
Awesome.
number 4, we got.
What about Joe Main?
What about Joe Main?
What about him?
Joe Alt, Joe Main.
Yeah,
Joe Sub?
Joel gets a little more horny than Joe Main.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
Number 4. Congratulations, Denny Hamlin on Dover. That's 3 wins this year. Let's finally fucking bring it home, Denny. This is a Denny Hamlin pod for NASCAR.
Nope, Bubba Wallace.
Oh!
I'll respect it. It is the one black man in NASCAR, so
Nice.
I'll respect it.
Nice.
I'll respect it.
I knew I could just throw that out there.
I'm glad you did. Feel free to chirp in. For number 3, WWE. We got Backlash coming up. It'll probably be already done by the time of this pod. I'm sure Cody versus AJ will be a good match. Great workers, but I think after WrestleMania, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
They can't put anything around Cody. I love Cody with the belt, but I think the expectations of the end of an era and we're going into the Paul Levesque era too damn high.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's always the issue when a storyline ends. And Andres, I know I can tell you're already vibrating over here, about ready to go straight through the floor. So
Not really.
You're
I'm just waiting
with
here
the
with
subject
the
of
cat.
wrestling brought up.
I'm like, I don't know if I have an opinion on this because it's like, what's there to opine about? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Cody. He just started. If it goes 3 like pay-per-views and it's still like not catching my attention, there's a problem.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
right now, I don't have any opinions on
What is your usual timeline after WrestleMania? Which for the non wrestleheads out there, WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl of wrestling,
it. It's
and
the,
then
the
and
World
then
Series.
it typically ends a lot of storylines
Mhm.
and new ones start up. So then for the few months thereafter, it's kind of, you're not like having huge matches, you're having more like rivalry start again kind of thing.
holdover
right?
things,
Yeah,
basically side stories, tales of suspense for like a couple of chapters.
Mhm.
Not much to go. I mean, unless you're The Rock, that's where stories end. Unless you're The Rock and John Cena, WrestleMania is where everything ends and you have to start anew. The problem is starting. You have to start at all. And sometimes you just don't land the start right. You can land the ending.
And it's hard when 3 of like your 6 biggest guys in Seth, CM Punk, and Drew are all injured right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that they're doing work just around the arena, messing with each other, Tom and Jerry style. If the last Raw was anything to go by, it was great. Just for the sheer visual of Drew one spot, CM Punk up at the boxes, Drew, I'm gonna chase him down and I'm gonna kill him. He gets to him, gets to the box. There's a CM Punk autograph. Some great Tom and Jerry shenanigans because CM Punk's not in the ring talking shit. Which, anytime CM Punk talks shit to Drew McIntyre is a good day, even if everything else around it is absolutely drab as hell, like the draft.
Oh, that happened
Fuck
this
the
last
draft.
week, right?
Fuck the draft.
It
It does nothing.
I had some friends that were getting more into wrestling recently, and they were like, "What the hell is this draft thing?" And I'm like, "It's some dumb thing." When they started that, like 2010,
Yeah.
to
For the
basically,
NFL
to
thing.
basically just separate the 2 brands so they could have more belts, right? That was the idea.
Kind of.
It's
Yeah.
literally
Create
just
some storylines.
it's catching the heat of people getting excited about the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's the windfall.
It's cashing in on the term draft is popular right now. Let's have our own draft.
That's really funny.
And it
That's
doesn't-
really funny.
It
Yeah.
did nothing.
Yeah.
It did significantly nothing.
No
Yeah,
big
sure.
moves.
Technically, if you count call-ups from NXT as big moves.
Oh, okay.
But like I don't because I want to give them time to actually settle into the main sphere. You
Yeah.
know, in Raw and SmackDown. Because you hear of the NXT guys and how they're always putting on bangers and after bangers and all that stuff. But it's NXT. It's a closed system. It's
Yeah.
smaller. Everything feels much more impactful because of how concentrated it is. So there's I want to see the big stage. I want to see if, for example, Ilya Dragunov gets that Gunther-like momentum. Because, he spent a little bit of time in NXT, I believe, right? Gunther?
Is he the current Intercontinental Champion?
No,
Not
he's
anymore.
currently gunning for King of the Ring now,
Oh, okay.
along with his love partners in New Day.
Oh, okay. That's right. I saw their match the other day.
Yeah, they put on some good stuff.
Because the big 4 pay-per-views are WrestleMania, SummerSlam, you know
Royal
what I'm talking
Rumble.
about? Royal Rumble,
Survivor Series.
Survivor.
Series.
Yeah, but that.
Yeah, me and Andres talked about this too. Those historically are like the crown jewels
Yeah,
of
yeah.
wrestling, the major 4.
Mhm.
But now, what's more exciting than Survivor Series is Money in the Bank,
Oh,
which
right,
will
right,
be
right.
coming up before
Because
SummerSlam.
Money in the Bank is pretty high. Oh, it's before SummerSlam.
It's before SummerSlam.
Interesting. So, because I was thinking in my head, like, I will probably check in on Raw like once a month.
Right.
And then once SummerSlam hits, I will watch SummerSlam, and that's kind of the where are these storylines at,
Mhm.
and are we building to something bigger? And if at that point there's nothing at SummerSlam that really grabs me, I will probably just check out completely until the next
WrestleMania.
not
Royal
necessarily
Rumble.
WrestleMania, but like Royal Rumble.
Sure.
Royal Rumble's almost always fun.
Yeah, Royal
Yes.
Rumble is like, even when WrestleMania, if you don't like who the champion is, that's why we have the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And Money in the Bank.
Yeah, or Money in the
It's
Bank.
2 hours of just watching whatever, and then you get like some cool spots, and then some like 70-year-old man runs into the ring, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, dude.
He's got the 2x4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love Hacksaw.
Hello.
hmm
Yeah, no. Or it's some no name who just runs down and is like, who?
Whomst?
Yeah, whomst. Or worst case scenario, Titus World Slide.
Yeah.
Which is the greatest spot to have, unless you're Santino Marella. In which case, all you get is 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that wasn't ready.
No, that was 1 second.
Was it 1 second?
Yeah, it was purposely to beat the Bushwhackers record.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How petty.
Yep.
Is this a demolition thing?
I don't know. But if you want more wrestling, stay tuned for the ad read.
Ooh,
Do we have an ad read?
not yet.
Well, we're at 20 minutes. What time do you want to do our ads? If we're shooting for an hour pod every time,
I could do one.
is it 20, 40, and then we end the pod? Is that the
Sure,
idea?
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Let's hear it.
All right.
I wanna hear this. I'm actually
Can we
excited.
do this like?
Let me get-
Can we do this like Adam Friedland reads, where like I get to just constantly interrupt you?
Sure.
Oh
yeah.
God. Speaking of which, we never even got through the whole of Sports Corner.
No, yeah. No.
He as soon as he brought up wrestling, I was like, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
we're going at least 5 minutes on wrestling.
I want
If
to
you-
get to the end of that Sports Corner.
Was there
'cause I'm
more?
interested.
Sorry, was there more sports that we didn't get
I want to know.
Part 2 of the Sports Corner right after this.
Yes.
This episode of Chaotic Pussy is brought to you by Blue Chew. Blue Chew, do you or your partner want to have longer, better sex?
Hell yeah.
Do you want to last longer than Drew McIntyre's championship reign?
Hell
Nice,
yeah.
nice. Going for 7 minutes, baby.
Or
6 minutes is fine.
do you know...
Minute for every inch.
6 minutes. 6 minutes for you is fine. You're like, man, if I can make it to 6.
If I can make it past 1 minute, it's a record. Just gonna put it out there.
Blue Chew. They're chewable, so they're faster acting than the other communist dirty little dick pills.
Wow. There
Yeah.
you go.
And they come in discreet packaging, so there's no embarrassing doctor visits.
As if I had shame.
This
Give me
Okay.
my chew, boys.
is a lifelong wrestling fan. There is no shame.
No, yeah, if you like wrestling and you're over 30, ED is probably what's gonna happen.
If WrestleMania was anything to go by and all those ads. God, I love knowing that I have ED.
Well, if you're looking to go one-on-one with your partner,
With your great one. Sorry.
no, fucking go to www.bluechew.com and use promo code CP10. Use CP10 to get 10% off your first Blue Chew order. All right, back to the sports corner.
Please tell me about sport. I love
Uh,
sport.
We got Scotty Scheffler and Nelly Korda dominating golf. They've, in their last 5 tournaments, each of them won 4 of them and got second place to the other one. So if we're looking at, if we got any gamblers out there, any sports gamblers, Scotty and Nelly.
How old are these golfers? I've never heard of either of these people in my life.
I think Nelly is in like her later 20s and
Uh-huh.
then Scotty's in his like mid 30s.
Oh,
So the
okay.
women's and men's PGA golf
Yeah.
Right.
tour?
Yes.
Awesome.
Whatever happened, the last time I was paying attention to golf, they were all going to Saudi Arabia.
Yes, we still have Liv, who
Oh.
their dirty blood money has taken away a lot of best golfers.
Yeah.
We got John
Like older guys, right?
Yeah, like Kepka, the previous master winner, John Ram, was PJ and now he's gone to Live.
Mhm.
And so fuck Liv.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
So the
Just
question.
this is gonna come back to wrestling, I know, because of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yes, it does. I was actually going to ask.
Crown jewel.
Well, yes. Let's not even talk about Crown Jewel. How many of these guys are like big names in comparison to like PGA? What's like the ratio? Like, hey, the Live has this many golfers who are like big timers, and PGA now has this many. What are we talking here? What's the deal?
The top end talent is on Live now as opposed to PGA.
Mhm.
But we got Scotty Scheffler, who
Who's
we
good.
should all root for.
Yeah, honestly.
But now Yeah, we don't want to root for any of just the live guys, which we won't see them during the tour except during the majors. So it's when, PGA, the Open, the British Open, US Open, and Masters, which Scotty just won.
Oh, awesome.
That is when live can invade, but we have to still root for Scotty or anyone else who's non-live.
PGA Livasion.
Yes.
Worst idea I've ever seen next to the actual invasion by the WWF back in the day.
He can't stop. He keeps rolling with it.
Of course I do.
And then lastly, which you alluded to and why we brought up the Sports Corner gimmick in the first place, is the playoffs. The playoffs are insane.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
Wasn't there a match
We're
that
just trying to win a game.
recently?
What?
Wasn't there a match that just happened recently?
Masters, yeah. Scotty just won the Masters a couple weeks ago.
That's for golf, right?
Yeah, that was for golf.
But for basketball, we're in basketball right now, right?
Yes.
Is that the playoffs?
Yeah, that's playoffs.
All right. So there was 3 matches that were already decided.
He calls them matches.
Well, matches, whatever you want to call them, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I come from UFC and WWE.
Yeah, I know.
So Endeavor, it's supposed to be a wet dream for me, but it's not. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, if you want your wet dreams to come true, order Blue Chew CP10 promo code.
I have nothing but wet dreams for Blue Chew. It's awful.
But yeah, we have, if we want to go on that, we got Anthony Edwards just killed Kevin Durant. That's a name that people should know, even though they don't really care for basketball. Anthony Edwards is the new kid. He's fucking God Basketball Shoes 2.0.
Where's Slendy Jr.?
Wemby?
Yeah.
Wemby's not in the playoffs. His team sucks. Hopefully this
Wait,
offseason-
who's his team?
The Spurs.
Where are they?
They're like last in the West, if not... Yeah.
Wow.
Because they don't have a point guard to like feed Wemby, and not... Like, the Spurs are so bad around Wemby, they can't do an entry pass to someone who has an 8'6" wingspan.
And whose idea was it to not compliment Wemby?
The GM of the Spurs, I don't know the name off the top of my head.
Wow, well, if we want to fire somebody, not the coach, not Wemby, and not the 4 useless
Can't
drones
fire
that are there.
Popovich.
Huh?
Can't fire Popovich. He's won 5 titles for them.
Oh, yeah, it looks like he's going for a 6th one now.
He might with Wemby if they get, like, Trae Young.
If he
or
clones Wemby, maybe.
some other point guard.
Yes. Anyone other than whatever they have right now.
Yeah.
Good.
So where are we at in the NBA playoffs as
Yes.
far as state? Are we out of the quarterfinals or
So,
whatever?
by the time this comes up, we'll be done with round 1.
Okay.
If any series goes to Game 7, they'll be over, which I'll say right now, congratulations to Luka on his Game 7 performance against the Clippers.
Mm-hmm. I hope so.
That once again, just... He likes doing it to the Clippers. I think this is the 3rd time he's gone up against them, and just, like, he owns them.
Give me a.
Somebody just has your number.
I have a fan duel for playoffs, and that's the second ad read.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted a prediction for
Okay.
Eastern and Western Conference Finals
Eastern...
because by the time we might, considering our production
our
speed,
track record.
we might be talking about
The finals next time.
Yeah.
or I was actually going to say what it's not spring training. What is it for
Oh.
football when it starts?
Oh, that's in like July, August.
Yeah, preseason.
Preseason.
We might be doing NFL preseason
We might be
previews next time.
It might be our fantasy football draft again.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
great.
It's actually just a yearly podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to do our fantasy football preview.
Yeah.
So
DraftKings is looking for you guys. Like, when can we sponsor you?
at the time of this recording, the Bucks, without Damian Lillard and Giannis, won Game 5. So it's 3-2. I think the Pacers are still gonna win the series. So we're looking at Pace versus most likely Knicks, unless Joel Embiid goes crazy, and
What are the
Celtics
chances?
versus, and then Magic and Cavs is tied. That's one of the things I'm gonna call. Let's say Magic win Game 7 on by the time you're listening to this.
Why?
Either way, the Celtics are gonna be in the finals coming out of the East. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. As for the West, we got Thunder versus either Mavs or Clippers, and Timberwolves Nuggets, which is our FanDuel series this episode. But we have it's probably gonna be Nuggets Celtics is my prediction for the finals. I like
Nuggets, Celtics.
Jokic. He's just I think back to back is incoming. Jamal Murray, he fucking hates like
It's Los
he's a
Angeles.
Canadian that hates LA or gets more hate from LA besides like Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Appropriate too.
Yeah. And then Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. are the perfect role guys for Jokic. As for the East, kind of just compared to the West, crappy compared to the Celtics. So our boy DeAndre was looking pretty good, but he might get his heart broken for a third time with Jason Tatum.
Should I buy some donuts in advance?
For him,
Yeah.
yeah, get some Boston creams,
The
whatever those donuts are called.
Boston creams, yeah. I'm sure there's a joint around here that serves them.
Have you ever watched sports with him?
Yeah, and we went to a Kings game. We went to Kings Celtics.
How was that?
Celtics won.
Shame.
So fuck that.
Well, is he fun to watch?
No.
Sports with?
I mean, when we do game, it's the same thing, just talking trash the whole time.
Yeah,
and- yeah. No, it's great.
Typical male bonding.
No, DeAndre is definitely more normal than you two, and definitely more normal than me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, he's the normie of the four of us.
Yeah. It's very difficult, even for nerdier black men, to still they are still like a step above even like the coolest white dude.
Yeah, no, unless they like.
It's just like a natural.
The paths are, if you really want to be lamer than a white guy, is to be really, really into Dragon Ball, like insanely.
Yes.
Like you could love
Yes.
Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball great. You could like when you're 6 go Super Saiyan, fucking whatever.
Uh-huh.
But if you're just like insanely, like if your profile on Twitter right now
Mhm.
is Blue Goku,
Ah.
we got an issue.
It's Dragon Ball. I mean, Sonic, I think at a young age, right?
Mhm.
And then Dragon Ball, and then
Snakes.
Snakes.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Naruto, but
I was gonna say Smash Brothers.
Nope.
I was
Smash
going with
Brothers
Naruto.
is up there, yeah, for sure. So many Smashers.
I've never actually been to a Smash local, but now that I have PPE, personal protective equipment, I feel like I could go with enough so I didn't inhale any toxic fumes,
Mhm.
so that I would be able to protect myself.
Well, if you're going to a Sacramento local,
I mean,
you're not really.
Wear enough layers so I could just throw them out afterwards. I wouldn't have to worry about.
wearing a hazmat suit.
Yeah,
We've
exactly.
we've
More or
churned
less.
the Melee has like churned where it used to be like calling people gay for playing Jigglypuff
Yeah.
to now like every cool player is queer, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, that's just the FGC in general.
Yeah.
But especially in like anime games, you have so many like queer and trans folks that play.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was actually watching. There's a YouTuber, FD Signifier. Have you guys ever heard of him? He does
No.
like video essays. Mostly covers like pop culture from a leftist perspective. He's also a black man, but he's a
Fucking
huge
lefties.
Tekken player. And so when Tekken 8 came out, he was like streaming, and people were like, "Oh shit, I didn't know you had like." It's the Shaq meme of like, "I was not familiar with your
I
game."
I apologize.
My apologies, because I forget his rank, but he's up there. He knows more than most, and so he did a video on black men in the FGC and why there are so many more black folks in the FGC in general, which is really fucking cool because he's talking about like socioeconomics as far as like if you're gonna buy a game, you want something that you can play over and over again. If all of the cousins are coming over, or after school or whatever, there's the one grandma that can babysit. Everyone's crowded around the one game. You're able to take turns, that kind of. This is all just kind of spitballing or whatever, but it was really interesting look because disproportionately, absolutely in the FGC, there are way more black people than there are proportionally in this country. Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like at least half. It's pretty crazy. So
Shout outs to Lil Majin.
yeah, absolutely.
Personal favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. Majin Buu or Lil Majin from he's over in Japan, right?
I think so.
That who you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
But shout out to Majin, man. He's
But
great. Shout out to Arslan.
the first time I went to, because I went to my first local was a Mortal Kombat local, and I guess I just was. I mean, even though on TV, on Twitch and stuff, I had seen it was like majority black men. I went to this local at like a comic book shop for MK11, and I think I was one of like 2 white dudes, and I was not prepared for the culture shock. I was like, oh shit. Plenty of like Latino dudes and stuff there too, but I was definitely one of the few white guys. The only other white guy was there like,
Turbo Nerd.
yes. And I was like, God damn it, dude, I have to.
You have to hang out with Whitey.
I was like,
Oh, you distanced yourself from Whitey.
Well, he kind of approached me, but he was the kind of guy. He was also trash. Like
saw-
I was bad, but he was dog shit. And,
and he just thought he was reaching out like this, like brother.
Yeah.
Trash brother.
but that was super fun. I went to that like 4 or 5 times. I usually O2'd. And then I've been to a handful of locals and tournaments since. I'm at like that level where like I'm competent and I understand why I'm getting my ass kicked, but I don't actually have the practice and the skills to like overcome it
Yeah.
in a set.
Yeah.
And like I've actually been to tournaments with both of you guys. I went
Yeah.
I think you and I went to one first, Andres. I think we went.
Street Fighter 6
It
slash
was like
Tekken 7.
NorCal. Was that NorCal Regionals
It
or
was
what was
NCR.
that? Is that what that was?
Yeah, I think so. It was.
Right after Street Fighter 6 came out, that was fucking sick.
That was awesome.
I went 0-2 in both Guilty Gear and Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I think you 0-2'd in Tekken as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Nowhere near.
I remember you telling me that like you were learning how to play the video game.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the case? Like there's some.
Yeah,
dude
there was a dude, like a lot of the folks there, surprising to me, were really nice and were really helpful. They were just
Absolutely.
like, hey, you could try this tech and this other thing, and I'm just like, cool, that's great, without like really actually trying, because I'm like, I kind of just want to get in and get out. Don't get me wrong, I do think that aspect of competition is a great idea. It's a great thing for me to undertake, but there's people involved, so I really don't want to.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. You're around a lot of people
It's like,
for sure.
Ugh, this is gonna suck.
That was also a very crowded. That was the most crowded room I've been in.
I was gonna say
for a tournament.
it was a very sardine-like environment.
Yeah.
That one, because I'm like, why are we all just
Well,
like near shoulder to shoulder? This is not. Ugh.
after we all fucking lost, we went and got pizza and played some more at my place, and then I remember going back. I don't know if you were with us because I was with your like.
No, I think I went. I think I left.
Yeah, I was like with your homies, and we watched the finals, and it like mostly cleared out. And it was pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
'Cause
most of the dudes were there to try to win.
Yes,
Got their
but
ass
no,
beat.
but no, like the FGC in general. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is because it is a smaller video game community, and it truly is very supportive. It's just the nature of the game, especially online, leads to so much salt. And like people post it on Twitter and stuff. People think that it's less so that.
Yeah, that's because nobody wants to see the good. Nobody wants to see, for example, Mr. Cameron helping me out in Smash Bros, getting my game up. Nobody wants to see that.
Well, it's like because you want your game to grow, and so ideally you want to show people the cool parts of your video game and why it's fun to play and how to get better at it so that they keep coming back and you keep building the community.
But also you want to see those moments. You want to see, for example, Cameron grab that controller and just chuck it across like the entire stage.
Well,
like, ah!
I was going to ask, because I only have experience with the more traditional fighting games. Is the Smash community, in your experience, just as supportive, or is it...
No, that's what I was saying, is like nowadays, probably like since coming out of the bubble, it's been, I think, a safer space. We cleared our swamps during COVID.
Oh, that's right.
The summer of COVID, we were getting rid of all of our pedophiles.
And that was like countrywide. That wasn't even just like...
It was mainly New York.
Yeah. That's where they were all...
It was mainly New York.
It was a lot of like sex pest stuff, from what I remember.
Hungrybox being a creeper and a bunch of stuff like that.
Are you
there was
serious?
bigger names too. It wasn't just like small.
Well, no, like the main commentator for the New York scene, D1, was like, pedo.
Damn.
La Luna, pedo.
Damn.
It was funny. It was all the lame New York guys were pedos, and then the one cool one, G Money, was not. So I just feel bad for G Money.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he's able to rebuild that scene.
Yeah.
Or has been able to rebuild it.
And hope he's still friends with our NorCal boy SFAT.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Rewind a little bit.
What's
Second.
up?
Hungry Bucks?
Yeah, he's just a creeper. Like, he just like will, like, if
That's one of the few names I know.
I know a lot of people know that name because
Yeah, so
I fucking hate that guy.
well, yeah, no, I mean there's a reason to hate him. Yes, sure, from what I've learned.
Yeah.
But like I guess I shouldn't be surprised that like big guy like that is a creeper.
Yeah, because he doesn't know how to interact with people, and just like once he like started winning and getting attention, he's like, oh, why aren't people all over me? And just like fucking, and just he sees a woman at a, just like if he sees like someone with someone else at a tournament, he's still like, yeah, still mine though. It just he's fucked up.
Bro needs to go to therapy.
I mean, I think he hasn't. You can make the argument he hasn't done anything recently, but I think like
that's not the point.
I think 2014 through like 2017, 18, that was a confirmed thing.
Okay, bro needs to go get a date or something.
He needs to stop playing the puff.
He needs to stop playing, period.
That too, but
He needs to put the controller down.
it's funny. My brother, like, if Hungrybox personality, if he was just like a top, he's like a number one puff, but if he was like a top 60 Falco, his like horrible personality would all kind of like.
Yeah.
If he was that cocky and of an asshole,
if
but
he
he
just
wasn't,
played a different character,
and he wasn't,
absolutely.
and if he wasn't number one,
yeah.
then we kind of like it.
Well, that's one of my favorite dynamics, right? Is when someone who's not playing a top tier, or I don't know where Jiggly and Falco fall on the tier list or whatever.
There's only
but, like,
6 viable.
it's more just like their play styles, right?
Yeah.
So like, people always hate like ranged characters,
Right?
Because like that's the character. I think it triggers everyone back to when they were 7 years old and they were just getting fireballed to death.
Yeah.
Stop spamming! Stop spamming!
Yeah.
PTSD
anything that causes you to remove control of someone's character, which Jigglypuff does, right? Put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I mean, she can. Putting people to sleep is
what's like the frustrating part about putting
she
people
walls you out with back airs is the thing.
Oh, okay. So
'Cause
you don't
can't
get to play.
in. Yeah, you can't get in.
So they are a ranged character in that sense.
Or
in the same way.
in Melee, you have level stage.
Yeah.
She can just like refresh the ledge. That's the most
okay.
annoying thing.
Gotcha.
If she gets a lead, she can just refresh the ledge
Or
forever.
just run the time down.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She's a defensive character then.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because that's the most frustrating thing in like, a Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter or whatever. Someone just throwing range stuff at you the whole time and you can't get in.
Yeah.
What's the dude's name? I'm forgetting. In Street Fighter 6, he's got the purple powers. He's got the
JP?
JP. People fucking hate JP at lower levels, even though he's not like a top tier. He's in the top 5 for sure, but he's not like the best of the best. But his whole thing is just like range traps and setup. So if you don't like practice that, you're just getting fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
And as someone who plays Zangief, who needs to be right next to you so he can smash you into the ground, it's
Yeah.
like I'm spending most of my time just doing this,
Just
like
marching your shield
walking forward and
Yeah.
then yeah. So
Ready your breakfast then. Get ready, gentlemen. For
Yeah.
tonight we dine in fucking spam hell.
But the peak of fighting games is when you have those longer sets with someone. I know this has been an issue in Tekken because people are one and doneing, right?
Some of them. I
Yeah.
actually get quite a few rematches, which is very
Okay.
very
Well, I know at like higher ranks. Not saying you're at a low rank, of course.
I'm getting to the reds.
Okay.
I'm getting to my reds.
Once you get up there, people are real protective of their rank, right?
Yeah,
so they dip
no.
out, which is just the nature of online, I guess.
Yeah.
But once it's less about the physical execution and more the mental, what's the word I'm looking for?
Just the mental mind games. Just like
Yeah.
there's a thing where
You
like
figure out someone's play style and you're like, all right, now I'm going to counter that. And then 2 games later, they're like, now I've countered that. And then, you keep going.
It's an arms
Just-
race.
Yeah.
being good enough at the game to expose their bad habits.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing with like fighting games is getting good is getting there is all about like the fingers.
Yeah.
Just like knowing what to do in spots, recognizing that. But then
All about the fingers.
when you get to like top 50 range, the game is 90% mental because you could rest on
Yeah.
your physical being there always.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at that point everybody's equally quote unquote matched.
Sure.
Everybody has the dexterity, the reflexes, and the physical know-how of what to do at any given time.
Right.
So now you have to basically fool your opponent and think you're doing something else. You have to basically try to act like you're not going to do a certain thing.
All this talk about fingering in mind games has me thinking of what's the Venn diagram of FGC and BDSM folks.
Hi.
You think
Is
so?
it?
I think
Is that because we're all on the internet and so we become sex weirdos by the age of 15? Is that why?
I think specifically
Maybe.
the like not all BDSM are FGC,
Yeah.
but a lot of FGC
Yeah.
I think would go into BDSM.
Well, I mean, you were just talking about like
they like letters that those folks.
you're establishing control, right? There's like a power struggle sometimes, and then you're trying to mentally in some ways play with someone's expectations
I am
consensually. Everyone's sitting down consensually, of course.
And then you can role play as Zangief
Yes.
with who you're going
Hey,
up against.
this also ties back into the cosplay. Like fighting game cosplay
Right,
is
yes,
huge.
absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
That's
now that
all
I'm
I'll say
all
is
horned
just,
up,
yeah.
do we have another ad read?
Yeah,
Before
sure.
we're done.
Let's kill your boner by going to FanDuel.
Yeah, okay.
So
You'd be surprised what I could jerk off to.
I love statistics.
Or maybe you wouldn't be.
this podcast is presented by FanDuel, the premier gaming destination of the United States, where the winning is amplified. So, at the time of recording this, it's probably Monday morning. So, Game 2 of Nuggets Timberwolves are going to happen later tonight. For the series, the Nuggets are minus 205. I would say put the house down on that. I think the Nuggets are definitely winning that series. We got, sure, you hear Rudy Gobert is going to stop Aaron Gordon being in the dunker spot. But I think Jokic is smart enough to solve that, and Jamal Murray is just on a flamethrower right now. So put the house down on there. If you're talking NASCAR, if you want to see who's going to win the whole thing, we talked about our boy Hamlin earlier. Him, William Byron, and the racist Kyle Larson are at plus 500. If you want a bigger payoff for something a little more, but something still pretty guaranteed, plus 900 for Chase Elliott, the son of Bill Elliott.
Where's the Melon Lord?
What?
Where's the Melon Lord?
Melon Lord.
Yeah, isn't it Ross Chastain?
Oh, the wall ride guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Melon Lord.
yeah. I did not know he was called Melon Lord.
Well, he's a melon farmer.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough. Game recognized game.
Yeah.
Melon Lord makes me think of like the Elden Ring DLC that's coming out next month.
I thought that was his Tekken tag.
Oh.
No.
The Melon Lord has online. Like they have all those funny little names.
There's one guy out there who's gonna get that reference.
What's the funniest little tag you've seen? Because they have like the little names. Is there any?
You'd be surprised by how little attention I pay to who I'm fighting against.
You're just fucking dialed in.
I'm literally just character versus my character. I could care less what their name is.
I'm all about the aesthetics. And that's the stuff I'm always looking at. That's why I lose all the time.
And our last bet is going into football. Packers are plus 185 or 285? 185 to win the NFC North. I think that's better than Lions 140. Jordan Love. The Packers are just going to do it again. They're too good of an organization. I like their draft pick with their new offensive lineman. Take the Packers to win the NFC North next year.
Unless you really, really, really hate Brett Favre.
He's not on the tees. He hasn't played football in 15 years.
Has he put out any more penis pics?
No, I think he's even stopped doing his Wrangler jeans.
Oh,
I wonder why.
Comfort around your balls.
I didn't realize the draft already happened.
Yeah, it's over.
Do they do the wrestling draft and the NFL draft like in the same weekend? So
I
people just
believe
get
No, literally,
so.
wrestling is catching the hype of the NFL.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's the same week.
It's that. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So people are using hashtag draft and they're just kind of piggybacking.
Yeah, they're
off
like,
it.
look what's trending.
That makes- that
Draft
makes
is the
sense.
number one trend in America.
I thought you were referring to like just like when the NFL draft became a thing where people were watching it because that wasn't a
Oh.
thing when I was young.
No.
It wasn't until I was in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, FanDuel. Fucking no sweat bets. Chaotic
Oh,
pussy.
speaking of bets.
Here we go.
to-
FanDuel.
To set off our last little segment here.
Mm-hmm.
What's the over under on? Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I had that in my notes too.
What?
June 1st. Will you have had sex by then?
Oh yeah. Oh, we already discussed this.
Yeah, June 1st is the over-under.
I'm on it's been like 4 months. Which I'm not someone who like sex is cool, right? We all agree.
Hell yeah.
Sex is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten
Yes.
into my 30s, my desire and my need to have sex has certainly waned, right? I think as it does
Fucking
for most men.
lame.
Fucking-
But there is a need. There is a need. And I
Mighty need.
but but I'm not I've resolved myself since 2020 to try and have more meaningful relationships. So I no longer am pursuing, anything just purely for physical whatever. So
Mhm.
I think that's led to me being a little bit more chaste in recent months. Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Chaste?
Yeah.
For better or worse, I think also like when you're depressed, it feels really shitty to like date someone just to have sex. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Even that's like, obviously this is all like with everyone knowing what it is, right? I'm not emotionally
Feels
manipulating
empty.
anybody or anything.
Yeah,
We're all just fucking.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to do the just fucking when I'm feeling depressed because it's like this small
It's
little
hollow.
boost. Yeah, it's like I'm pretending. And it can be fun to pretend, but then it's like you crash afterwards. Or
But yeah,
whatever.
once you finish, it's just like, and now I have the thoughts in my head again.
Yeah.
I only felt good for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And now I need to kill someone to get these endorphins again.
Meanwhile, I could get that done in 1 minute by myself and go right back to World of Warcraft. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
completely turn the thoughts off
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
hours at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep the thoughts away by playing WoW.
That's what I spent most of my weekend doing, or my winter doing, was playing World of Warcraft. They put out have I talked to you guys about this? The Season of Discovery.
No.
Are you guys familiar with World of Warcraft? At
You
all?
did. I mean,
No.
one of
guys
my
never
friends
played?
was
Oh,
was
okay.
big into Warcraft, but I was never. Because
I never
didn't
made
have
weight for World of Warcraft.
Got you. So in layman's terms,
I was poor.
Season of Discovery is them trying to recapture the original magic and discovery of vanilla World of Warcraft, which initially came out in like 2004 when I was in high school. So it's like everything was awesome, right?
Yeah, 2004. Everything
Like-
was awesome.
Everything was awesome. Dude, it was fucking sick. 2004, pretty sick.
Now watch this drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got
Got
him. Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played a lot of MMOs in my youth, World of Warcraft especially.
Mhm.
Now I'm more of a Final Fantasy 14 guy, but my buddies got back into WoW, and so I was playing, and it's this really fun remix of the world where they've added in these new what are called runes, which give you abilities that you normally wouldn't have at that level. It's kind of integrating later quality of life stuff into this old game, and they've
Mhm.
added some new content, a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. That's really fun. But now they're on like the third phase of it because they were having you level in like chunks. Because traditionally you'd only go to level 60, but in this they were like stopping at 25 for a few weeks and then at 40, and now it's at 50. And with those different breaks, it's like, the intent is that if you are more casual or you don't have 40 hours a week to play video games, you can catch up with your friends and play a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Because the old problem with MMOs is people trying to speed it line to the end game and skip the entire leveling process. But now my friends and I are all kind of at a point where we're like, well, this in order for us to compete in this, to be able to do end game raiding, you have to spend however many hours a week farming gold and stuff. And it's like, well, this kind of goes against the whole playing casually for like 3 or 4 hours a week thing, right? So we've kind of bailed on that, which is fine because now we've all kind of decided, well, the sun is out now. We're going to go outside instead. Like, we don't need to spend all the time in the hinterlands or, Ashenvale. We can go and spend time in the actual wilderness if we need to.
Shout outs to Valheim.
Shout out to Valheim. I spent a little time in Valheim. But yeah, that was most of my winter. I was playing World of Warcraft, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, glad the sun's back.
Oh my god, I just realized
Shout outs to Helios.
the whole time that the podcast was gone,
Yeah.
I was coaching basketball.
Oh, you were busy. That's right.
He was
Yeah.
It
balling.
wasn't just me being sad. You also, your schedule was fairly limited.
Yeah, I had to do with two families in the wintertime, you do have to make all the rounds and visits for
Yeah, and
holidays
you
and
had
my birthdays.
and you had finals and stuff, right?
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
first semester, so.
Yeah.
Nobody asked
Andres,
about what.
Andres, where the fuck were you?
I just got here. I literally took forever. In fact, I'm pretty sure my parking. I'm pretty sure I got a ticket.
Probably.
I got parked in the 30-minute spot.
It's fine. If they come around, I am willing to pay for your guys' tickets. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll find a good spot for you guys to. Eventually, we will find the primo spots around here where they aren't checking.
Yeah.
I think there's probably enough private lots that you could probably park in and be fine.
Then nobody asked.
We'll figure it out.
Because I was close to parking in the VA area.
Yeah.
It's like nope.
That was the thing is when you had your crash, I was thinking
Yeah.
about sneaking off and just doing a mini like wrestling offshoot podcast with this guy.
Oh.
But then that never came. We were too stupid and we just watched wrestling instead. And ate Carl's Jr.
You guys watched WrestleMania together, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That was the shit.
Yeah. So I think.
I lost my mind at the first seconds of Mania.
Yeah.
So what's crazy is he's a huge wrestling fan.
Right.
This was his first pay-per-view live.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what do you want? I'm poverty.
Yeah.
But just like
You're also on the internet. It's easy to find streams.
right.
As if I'm gonna spend the time watching, like, looking for streams when I could be playing like some other
Burnout
game.
again.
I could be playing Burnout or Ghost Recon.
That's new. That's new thing. I want to go back to old familiar thing. Hey, understand, as someone who spent hundreds of hours this winter doing old familiar thing.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
If I know how to do it, I'm gonna do it, and if I don't, I'm not gonna bother.
I just mean like in 32 years, I thought you would have paid out once.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Not a single
Fair
time
enough.
because it's like, it's not in the cards, and it's not as fun to watch it by myself.
It might have been the
That's
first.
fair.
It might have been the first one I watched live as well. I'd seen some UFC before,
Mm-hmm.
but never wrestling.
But I wouldn't like make a deal out of it for you because you like me and Andres are the first like prominent wrestling fans you'll have since you were a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can gain more knowledge from wrestling from that guy alone.
I have a lot of knowledge about stuff that doesn't matter and will never help me.
Isn't
And I
that
love
just
it.
isn't that just typical with everybody here?
I guess that's not you. Man, not even that's unique. Fuck.
Well, considering there's a
Oh,
lot.
and I'm on a
diverse-
podcast. Damn it.
Yeah, no, you are. Wow, you're a
I'm
modern
every
normie.
man.
You're a modern normie. Congratulations.
I'm just every man.
Yeah, you're just every man. The worst superhero to be.
My superpower is I'm forgettable, which actually helps out a lot in like when work and like people want to blame people for stuff. I don't get brought up.
Yeah, no, people forget that you exist. I wish I had that.
That's what's fun about working with the middle schoolers. I feel like the three of us are kind of disconnected from the rest of, our coworkers.
Well, yeah,
I
We don't
love
have
it.
to do any fucking arts and crafts.
Yes.
I literally just sit around and talk about boners for 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
With the other 13-year-olds. It fucking rules.
I try to keep everybody in line as best I can, knowing the fact that it's like not really something you have to do.
I'm trying to best prepare these young men for going into a school with more than 30 of their classmates and that they can't touch other people's heads without getting their shit fucking wrecked.
yeah.
Even in a
Absolutely.
posh school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because we have our 1st and 2nd grade team, who I like,
Yeah.
our 3rd through 5th grade team, which, and then
Nobody
us.
wants to work.
Hey. Solidarity amongst all workers. It's fucking May Day, baby.
No.
Is it Mayday?
You can drag ass every single day. I don't give a fuck. Even if it makes my job. I mean, truthfully, it doesn't make our jobs that much harder, does it?
No.
Does it? Do you feel like your job is that much more difficult?
I'll be honest. One of our bosses have given me secret duties to make sure that, like, whenever they fuck up.
Hell yeah.
That rules.
Yeah.
You're a
I've-
fucking secret agent.
I haven't had that explicitly stated to me, but I've had like winks and nods of like, we understand.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, nobody wants to fucking work in a school. You don't make any fucking money, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you take who you can take.
and if you're lucky, you get a worker like me,
the
who
three-
doesn't ask
or
questions,
like the three
who
of us.
just is a helper monkey.
Yes, you. I mean,
As clearly
you
stated by this
bust
man.
ass 24/7, and I've paid you this compliment.
I stopped busting ass 24/7. I'm not
Oh,
busting
sure.
ass 12, 3.5.
But I've paid you this compliment before, but that your skill set as like literally like a hard physical worker, you have to have someone like that in a school because like I don't want to go fucking move and stack chairs. I don't want to run boxes around or unload food shipments or whatever. But
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
oh fuck yeah, I have like an hour and I can just fucking zone in on this thing. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like that kind of thing. The one thing that kills me every time is that music is unallowed. Which,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I get it. You
I
should
find
be-
ways of sneaking it with like one earbud when I'm doing those tasks, not when I'm working with kids.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
drives me fucking crazy when I see people with headphones in when they're working with children. It's like
No.
your full attention should be on the 8-year-old. What are
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah, like when it's out there, when it's out in the fields, it's like, yeah, pay attention. But when you're by yourself with a bunch of clothes and you're supposed to fold them all to make them look all nice and neat, well, yeah, I don't care how many kids walk in. I'm not paying attention.
You
This is my
can't you
job.
can't pop a headphone in during that?
I got my over the ears.
Oh,
so I,
you-
just,
you
I
gotta-
just zone in. Nobody's back there, so
Oh, yeah.
nobody cares.
So you do get to listen to music.
I do.
Oh,
just
okay.
not as often as I'd like, or in
Throughout the
comparison
day.
to the tasks that I do.
That
It's
makes
like,
sense.
If I had more music, I'd probably complain less.
Yeah.
But guess who'd complain more? My bosses.
Yeah.
You don't look like you're paying attention. You
Oh,
don't look like you're doing.
Don't worry about it. Me and our boss have already, to each other, jokingly complained about some of the music selections that another coworker has made.
Oh yeah, I love listening to the same 13 songs over and over and over again. Nothing but Vance Joy.
Last Friday night, we were dancing tabletops, then we
Or
took
how about
too many
Riptide for the
shots.
17th fucking time? I actually liked Vance Joy. Up until I heard that song like 17 times, 18 times, I'm
What's-
like, okay.
What's the Vance Joy track? I don't know who that is.
Riptide by Vance Joy. It's great.
Sing it.
No. Hell no. I refuse to acknowledge that track until I'm gonna make a confession here.
Uh-oh.
As somebody whose word works.
Coming up on 1 hour. It's
Yeah.
confession time.
Yeah.
Now we're
So
getting
here's
now we're getting real.
here's the little dog's confessions.
Mhm.
Because I can't be a big
Is that
dog.
your new book?
Huh?
Little Dog
Little
Confessions.
dog
Yeah,
confessions.
the little dog confession. Little dog. That's my nickname.
Title drop!
Title drop, little dog.
Little bitch shit.
Oh, fuck off. But no. So here's the thing. There is one song that, because of a previous employment, if I never hear it again in my lifetime, it will be too soon. And if I hear it from one of you two, I am throwing a chair.
Is it something by Journey?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay.
I actually tolerate Journey nowadays because I haven't heard them often, if at all. So if I hear like,
One
what's a
day,
song from Journey?
Love
More than a few.
will
No, that's
find
Boston.
you.
I confused
Break
Boston and
those
Jersey.
chains that bind you.
Is that Journey or is that
Yeah.
like okay? I have
Separate
no idea.
ways.
No idea. But
Shout outs to Mr. Wood.
Yeah, I still hate Journey because of my middle school English teacher. Not English teacher, history teacher.
Everyone hates one band because one teacher played them too much.
Yeah,
And for a lot of people, it was Beatles.
for me it was Journey because my no, it wasn't middle school. It was high school.
Yeah.
Second high school. What was it? It was the civics class,
Mhm.
and he had posters and discs and CDs of Journey
Oh, the posters.
everywhere, and I'm like, dude,
See,
it's Journey.
We have a poster guy in our school, too.
We had,
yeah.
We had my economics teacher, Mr. Wood. He actually had cassettes, which was fucking sick.
Yeah.
So he would play cassettes of these old records, and a lot of times it was Journey. That was the first time I'd really ever heard Journey. And yeah, he was probably one of the chillest teachers. Someone that probably, now looking back on it as an adult, was a little too friendly with kids. I wasn't involved in this, but I remember some of my friends going over and drinking beer with him.
Oh, okay.
I think after we graduated. But, there's some sus stuff there. I think he also moved school districts because he got married to a former student.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Small
Lovely.
town North Idaho stuff.
Oh, lovely. I love
I don't know, that kind of shit happens in Sacramento too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I'm always very vigilant about. I mean, thankfully we work with middle schoolers. You don't see it as often, but like there is the kind of thing whenever we get a new hire, I'm like, especially a man, I'm like, what's up? Like, what are you doing?
Where you at, brother?
What's your deal?
You trying to coach the girls volleyball team? What's up?
Yeah.
Why you coaching, huh?
I feel like you get enough life experience. It's so funny when they tell on themselves too. Like the other day, you like absentmindedly. We don't name names on this podcast, Andres, but the person
yeah,
we're in the com-
yeah.
supposed to go in the kitchen and he accidentally, that was great.
was awesome.
Walked halfway into the
had
girls'
me-
bathroom.
That look,
old habits die hard.
I bet. I mean, I had some opinions, but now I'm like,
So
and I talked to the guy.
we've gotten to an
Talk
hour
to-
here.
That's a wrap.
Yeah,
Is
well,
it?
I want to say, I mean, unless you got something
okay.
else.
I don't know, honestly.
Take the
I
microphone.
actually
You
just
got something?
just licked that.
You are?
Just kiss it. Give it a good night kiss.
I did want to say, because on a more serious note, there's been a lot of what?
I hate seriousness. Let's end on a happy note. Like,
Well,
I
let's
feel like
not.
I'm making fun of her friend.
Let's start with a serious note and let's end on a happy
Well, you
note.
can turn the
Alright.
podcast off if you like to have your head in the sand. But me personally, I think it's fucking rad what all these college students are doing. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sac State just started their little encampment.
Texas Austin, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I mean it's wild because like a lot of these places that have more militarized police, these kids are getting the shit kicked out of them, and now you're seeing
Another Kent State, possibly.
possibly. I mean the NYPD sent so many fucking people into Columbia last night. Like there's videos and it's just like endless police officers.
Yeah.
Like it's
Because-
a 10-minute, it's like a 5-minute video and it's just cops constantly.
Because it's so
Done.
easy to take on college
Done.
students who aren't going to fire back, but a guy with a gun, all of a sudden, every single one of those SOBs is a fucking
Yeah, they just
rookie.
they
He's
just
a
love,
trainee.
they just love beating on 20-year-olds. It's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
it's
Rittenhouse shuts up all the police.
yeah.
So that is to say, all solidarity with the students. Stay safe out there. I know none of them listen to this, but
Hey,
it
no.
is just the sentiment. Like it's something worth paying attention to. It's like if you were around in the 60s and Vietnam was happening, like what would you be doing? I mean, granted, we all have to pay fucking rent. So it's
Yes.
that's what I've been having a lot of conversations with friends about is like, I can't believe we're having to go to work. And this is like one of the most, it's the biggest movement since the Floyd uprising.
Yeah, and
But-
it's about sacrifices, really. Like, what are
Yeah.
you willing to sacrifice for a kind of like a different future? A
Yes, and
future
that's different for. Sorry, I don't
No,
mean
it's
to
fine,
cut
it's
you
fine.
off, but it's different for every individual, right? And it's like you have to keep yourself safe. You have to keep your family safe.
Mhm.
But now is the time to start asking yourself, at least at this moment, this is something to keep in mind. Like, what are you willing to risk? Are you willing to risk getting arrested? Are you willing to risk physical violence? Are you willing to risk, whatever it might be? Financial insecurity if you were to lose your job, because a lot of these professors and stuff are getting suspended
Mhm.
for just going out and like supporting the students.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just an English teacher.
yeah. So it's been pretty wild. But now you're starting to see civilian population mobilize. How it always works is right. Like leftists will organize a movement, and there will be the state police will show up and they will try and repress it. And if that doesn't work, all of a sudden plainclothes individuals start showing up. Not saying they're necessarily police officers, but some of them definitely carry themselves like police officers. But they're acting as civilians, and there's been, especially in UCLA, down in Los Angeles, there's been a lot of Zionists coming out saying really bigoted shit, spitting on people, trying to instigate to paint these
The protesters as like
truly peaceful
agitators.
protests. Right? They're just sitting on a fucking lawn for the
Yeah.
most part. I mean, there is some buildings being occupied, but a broken window. I was saying this to our security guard the other day. She was trying to say some shit to me, and I was like, I don't think a broken window is that big of a deal when 14,000 children are dead. Like at the end of the day. So, largely and almost essentially peaceful protest, but there's always going to be the literal outside agitators coming in to try and get that footage so that they can the mainstream media can truly start to demonize these super brave students. So all I wanted to say was like, you know, all solidarity with them. If you are close by to one of these college campuses, I highly as long as you can be safe, go out and see what they're doing and see if there's any way you can support, whether that's just posting on social media. You know, posting is praxis to some extent, I believe, because you are spreading the message to those who don't have anything besides dance videos and cat memes on their timelines. And if you can financially support, find ways to donate water, tents, whatever they need. So that's all I got. Do you have did you write an ending for this pod? Did you go that far too?
I'm
Yeah.
surrounded by pussy.
Yeah.
Are you able to segue from?
Sure.
That's why we have him on the pod.
If you are feeling sad about genocide, I think what we've learned is we need to stop not having sex for 4 months. And, you know, fuck around and find out a little.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Be chaotic. In the streets, in the sheets.
Amen.
That's it.
Hopefully we're back next week.
I got pussy. I'm more than fine. As
Stop.
in
Yeah.
kids.
And then let's keep this one going for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually want to have like and it's just us like
Show off
cooling
the
down.
cats. Show off the cats. They're
Yeah, we
great.
can show off the cats to the
They're
camera.
so good. Look at this. This is great.
Because I think ideally what I would like is we do this every time and then this gets uploaded to YouTube. And then
Sure.
on the recording, we can say, if you want to see the bonus features, come
Go to
check out. So
YouTube.
we can start to build a YouTube following
Sure,
of
I like that.
7 subscribers or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could, if you want, we could tease it there, but it'll show up us teasing it for the YouTube.
I think for this first one, it would
Just
be
go.
more so for the next
Like,
one.
okay.
Where we would say, hey, by the way, we now have a YouTube. You know, you kind of lead with it.
Yeah, with YouTube. If
With,
you want,
with the plugs, it's always you start at the beginning and then at the end.
right, like if you want to listen to more,
Yeah.
go to the YouTube where we have visuals and more.
Would you
an
like more
extended
pussy?
episode. Yeah.
There we go.
Would you like to know more?
Yeah, I already have the tweet for this one.
Hell yeah. That's what's important too with the art stuff is like doing it for yourself and your creative outlet first and foremost. Like we can think about the audience, but I think as long as we're still having fun with it, that's what's important.
Yeah,
You know,
I think a third mic is helpful, but
that was great.
I was wondering
Andres.
if,
that fucking ruled.
Cats are OP.
You're wondering what?
wondering just and again, I think next time when I do the intro and lead into the first actual question, either whether it be religion or us in middle school,
Yeah.
or whatever, I actually have like a better thing. I just didn't know what we wanted to do today.
No, you're fine.
Just kind of like shoot whatever.
That was great.
But
I mean, it's the first episode with a third wheel.
right. So then I'll have a lead-in question for Steven to give his life answer on.
Sure. I think I had a few things. You had a few things on your phone. Andres, if something all it is, dude, is like if something pops into your head, you just put it in your phone. And then you can look at it during there's nothing wrong with pulling out your phone during the podcast and being like, oh.
Well, I mean,
now
well,
with 3 people, because you guys saw me doing this, you
Right.
guys would be bullshitting about something and I'd be looking at my phone like,
Right.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Because most of the time I'm not even in it. I'm just existing, which is fine,
Because
honestly.
unlike this episode, there's gonna be no 10-second cuts of me like, all right, from this second to this second, just cut out 10 seconds of silence where
That's
I'm just
just being
thinking
awkward,
as he's
yeah.
on his phone.
Yeah.
Which it was full.
It felt like
full audio.
It felt like it was
That's why I was like noticing like, huh, are we done already?
No, and it was nice for me too to have like 20 seconds where you guys were talking about your specific local experience where I didn't have to actively listen.
Let's get those cats up here. See, these boys are so sleepy. They're ready to.
They're ready to just go
This
to
is when they
bed,
would
dude.
normally be asleep.
Yeah, which is like right about now for me
Yeah,
trying to
you're
head
fine.
out because I gotta get ready for stuff. I gotta get ready.
Harry, say bye.
And tell him goodbye. He's just like, why am I
Where
here?
did Lloyd go?
Underneath you,
Oh,
probably.
okay. You gonna jump down?
Oh, he is.
Big
Yeah,
boy.
he very much has
Oh, he's
that.
over there. He's eating.
He's eating. Yeah, but I should probably head